Hey there, friends. Thank you for joining. If you're joining on the replay, I hope you're having an awesome day so far, an awesome evening, an awesome afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and that all is good in your part of the world. So, this is Bogdan, and just want to share a couple of thoughts on one phrase that seems to be very, very popular all over the place. And that phrase is fake it till you make it. So if you're just joining, thank you for joining. Say hi. Feel free to say hi. I'm not seeing all of your icons. Hey Lisa, thanks for joining. I hope you're having an awesome afternoon. It's afternoon for you, right? So I just want to share a couple of thoughts on this whole idea of fake it till you make it, because it's been on my mind for the past days, and actually it's related to something that I'm really working on myself in the last, not last, but past days, past weeks, past months. And I thought, hey, let's jump in and share some of my thoughts with you. So as I said, once again, hope you're having an awesome day wherever you're joining me from, and feel free to chip in the conversation. As I said, I want to talk a bit about that saying, fake it till you make it. I think you've heard it or you've seen it here and there, online or in movies or wherever. It's everywhere nowadays. So please feel free to let me know if you've heard the expression, fake it till you make it, and maybe what you think about it. Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? What's the story with it? Or what's your stance on it? Why am I talking about it now? Because first of all, as you know, I'm doing more lives lately because I'm in my period of really intense focus on some of my projects, and part of that is also coming live more often and talking to people more often. But the whole idea with fake it till you make it was triggered recently because I'm seeing so many things online and ads and videos and whatnot where people are basically encouraged to do things and pretend that they are something they are not. And while that might be productive in certain cases, in many other cases, I don't really agree with it. Hey, Agniola, thank you for joining. So once again, if you have any input on this idea of fake it till you make it, let me know. Lisa, I don't agree with faking it as well, not in the common sense that most people promote it. So that's why I wanted to do this live and also share some of my insights. And I'll actually start with a story. Please don't ask me where you can find the story. I have no idea. I've searched, I've tried to find it. I have it in a book somewhere. It's actually an Indian folktale, and I found it interesting as a starting point. And the story goes something like this. There's a rich father who's looking for a husband for her daughter. And of course, he wants the best for her daughter. And he says to himself, well, what could be better than a holy man, right? One of the assets that meditate all day long, and they are holy and they are pure, and so on and so forth. So he goes to the river because back then all the assets were meditating next to the river. And of course, he starts asking left and right all the holy men if they want to marry his daughter. Of course, a holy man back in India had no interest in all the material possessions that he was offering in exchange for the marriage, so all of them said no. And the king was trying to find a husband for his daughter, until one day, one thief heard about it. And he said to himself, well, what if I pretend I'm a holy man? I'll just dress up like them and go and pretend to meditate on the riverbed, and maybe he'll ask me, and then I can get married with his daughter and I'll have loads of money. So that was the thief's plan. All said and done, that's what he did. He literally got dressed as an asset, went on the riverbed, started meditating, pretending he's one of the holy men. The king comes, finally sees him. He asks him if he would like to marry his daughter, and the thief finally says, yes, I want to. The king leaves happily, saying, okay, next day, let's meet and arrange everything else. Come to my court and we'll arrange all the details, right? So remember, this was just the thief pretending to be a holy man, or faking it, so to say, related to our story. But that night, the thief has a revelation or an epiphany, and he realizes that, wait a second, so just by pretending I'm a holy man, I basically managed to get so many material possessions and so much wealth because I was offered this opportunity to marry the king's daughter, right? And then he says to himself, imagine what I could get if I would actually become a holy man. And that changes his whole perspective on life and changes his whole behavior, his whole attitude. And from that moment on, actually, he dedicates his life to becoming a holy man. Of course, he tells the king, no, I'm not interested in the marriage anymore. But his whole behavior changes and his whole attitude towards life changes, right? Just because he was faking it, so to say, and he had that epiphany. So how is that connected to what I'm talking about, fake it till you make it? I found it interesting because actually, in my eyes, fake it till you make it doesn't refer to let's pretend we are rich, let's pretend I have an awesome car, let's pretend I'm wearing fancy clothes. But then again, I'm late with my rent and I don't have money for gas and so on and so forth. So that's something that social media contributed to as well a lot, because we want to show only the best parts of our lives and only the fancy things, but not the nasty ones or the ugly part or the parts that are not so happy, right? Exactly, Lisa. Imagine what you would get out of life when you become the best version of yourself. So that's why I was saying that for me, this is what fake it till you make it actually means for me. It's not about faking it as in having something that you don't have or pretending to have something that you don't have to impress others, but rather focusing on changing your behavior so that you change your whole approach towards life and your whole perspective on life. And yes, in some cases, that might mean for a while pretending that you have the confidence that you don't have, right? Why? Because by pretending you have that confidence, you impose your subconscious and your whole system to actually get you there. And then you become a better version of yourself, which finally will have that confidence even without you faking it or pretending you have it, right? So once again, for me, fake it till you make it refers much more to personal qualities or traits, things that could help you become a better person. And yeah, at some point, maybe you might need to fake it, right? For me, for example, it was all about speaking in public and just starting conversations with other people. For a very long time, I was very, very shy. I couldn't approach others. I was really shy. I couldn't talk in front of other people, not to mention in front of a crowd or in front of my phone talking to you over a Facebook Live like I'm doing now. This wasn't on back then, but still, this was one of my big challenges, right? Now, where did this challenge come from? Well, partly maybe because of what we are taught when we are small, right? Don't talk to strangers. And while this can be a very useful, apparently, trait, right? You are teaching our kids not to talk to strangers to keep them safe. This could easily get embedded in our subconscious as an overall programming. And then it turns into don't talk to strangers ever, right? Instead of just saying, hey, don't talk to strangers in certain situations, assess the situation. Don't generalize it as don't talk to strangers, but don't generalize, put some more details and teach the kids, hey, don't talk to strangers in this case or in this case or in this case, and be more aware. So that could be one reason. The other reason could be just my personality type, because I'm more of an introvert, right? There are countless reasons. Bottom line is that by now I've trained over 1,500 people, spoke in front of hundreds of people at conferences or trainings or events, and I had to get over that fear or that limitation, right? And even in what I'm doing now, just trying to establish new contacts for the Google trainings or for the essential oils that I'm working with, I always have to start new conversations and build new relationships and so on and so forth. And yes, I'm still